Hello, everyone. Just wanted to talk a little bit about choices in life. Did you know that life is full of choices? You have to make a choice about everything, just about in this world. Choice to get up in the morning, choice to go to work, choice to sing, choice to pray, choice to eat. Many choices. Life is full of choices. We're all been put in many situations where we have to make a choice, whether it's good choice or bad choices. But all together, we must remember that every choice, there's a consequence, whether good or bad. Good consequences if we do what's good, bad consequences if we do what's bad. And sometimes when we make choices that are good in this world, they're treated as bad choices. So we have to understand that no matter what, let's make the correct choice each and every time. And then we make those choices. We may not have as bad consequences, but we're making the right choice according to what we believe in if we are a believer in the Almighty. Do you think there are any consequences? Yes, there are. Whether it's bad or good, there's consequences for everything. If you don't believe it, look at this. In Genesis chapter 2, verse 16 and 17, Elohim told Adam and Eve some very specific instructions. In verse 16, he says, "And Yahweh Elohim commanded them, the man, saying, Eat of every tree of the garden, but do not eat of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, for in the day that you eat of it, you shall certainly die." Very specific instructions to the point. And I wonder, would we as people take those instructions and run with the same instructions, or will we add to or take away from? Because remember, the word says, do not add to and do not take away from the word. Anathema for those that do that. Cursed be those that do that. So if you think about the conversation that the serpent had with Eve, think about that. Have you ever really listened to the words? The serpent said to ask Eve, is it true that Elohim has said, do not eat of every tree of the garden? So almost word for word, the serpent got it right and asked her the question. Now she has a choice still. Eve still has a choice. But Eve said something totally different. She not totally different, but she added a few words in there that Yahweh never said to Adam and Eve. So Eve said in Genesis 3 and 3, or Bereshit 3 and 3, but of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, Elohim has said, do not eat of it, nor touch it, lest you die. Did Yahweh ever even say anything about touching the tree? No, he did not. He said, do not eat of it. Do not eat of it. And Eve made a decision. This is a choice now to add a couple more words in it. Nobody really knows why she added the extra words, but we as people will do the same thing to try to cover ourselves. We will try to cover ourselves by adding extra words and doing extra things so that we can cover up what we really want to do. Because we, in our minds, we've already made a choice. Because you think about it in the garden, after all this time, she must have been having a conversation with the serpent. Why are we having conversations with the enemy? A lot of us do that. We try to rationalize what we want to do compared to what we should do. So, and if you know the consequences of that, we're still paying for those consequences even today of that choice in the garden. The relationship that Yahweh wanted for all of us to have is strained, is stretched. We have to get in there and dig in and try to pull everything back together with Him so we can get in right relationship with Him. Whereas in the beginning, that did not have to happen. In the beginning, it was right there. He presented Himself. Even now, He presents Himself. But we have to work to get towards Him because we have to get rid of all the junk that is in us. And we have to make a decision whether we want to do it. It's about choices. Life is about choices. And even if you do not make a choice, guess what? There's still consequences. Look at 1 Kings chapter 18, verse 21. Elijah the prophet came to all the people and said, how long would you keep hopping between two opinions? If Yahweh is Elohim, follow him. And if Baal or Baal, follow him. But the people answered him not a word. They didn't make a choice, but there was consequences to not making a choice. And if you continue reading, the going back and forth of the altars, the prayers, the fire that came down from heaven, and then what happened? All the prophets of Baal or Baal were slaughtered. So they were killed because they didn't make a choice. We have to make choices. Last but not least, I'll leave you with this one. Revelation 3 or Kazan 3:15 and 16. The word says, I know your works, that you are neither hot, well, forgive me, you are neither cold nor hot. I would that you were cold or hot. So because you are lukewarm, that means in the middle, you have not made a choice, and neither cold nor hot, I am going to vomit you or spew you out of my mouth. Understand something. If you don't make a choice, there is still consequences coming your way. Make a choice today and follow the true word of Yahweh. Father, I want to say a prayer for the people. I pray, Father, that you will open up our hearts and our minds to you today, that you will help us to make the right choices, make the right decision. Even if the other crowd is going the wrong way, Father, help us to go the right way, that we will serve you with all of our minds, all of our heart, all of our strength, with everything that is in our fiber of being, Father. And help us, Father, to go straight and narrow to you. Help us to love one another as well, Father, as we love ourselves. Guide, lead, and direct us, Father, in everyday life. In your son, Yahshua HaMashiach's name we pray. Amen, amen, and amen. Love you all. Have a beautiful day and a beautiful week.